Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, chances are you or someone in your family has studied at the University of Peshawar. And for more than 7 decades, it's been one of the province's most respected public universities. But in recent years, one thing seems to be making headlines more often than its academic achievement, its financial crisis. This time, employees say they have still not received 1 month's salary and 2 months pension. And according to employees, April pension was released only last month and that too in 2 installments. They have now warned that if their outstanding dues are not cleared, they will begin protests. If you have been following the University of Peshawar over the last few years, you'll know that this isn't the first time employees have had to wait for their salaries or pensions, and every few months the university finds itself in the news because of delayed payments, pension liabilities, or financial shortages. The faces change, the administration changes, but the problem somehow remains the same. And that is surprising because we are talking about a university established in 1950, an institution that has educated generation of teachers, judges, bureaucrats, politicians, journalists and researchers. And thousands of students still study here every year. But behind every classroom, every department and every office are employees who keep the university functioning. When their salaries are delayed, the financial crisis doesn't stay inside the university, it reaches their homes. And since the 18th constitutional amendment, public universities are primarily funded by provincial government. In Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, that responsibility lies with the provincial government, yet financial crises at public universities have become increasingly common, forcing many institutions to rely more on higher tuition fees and self-finance programs just to keep operating. So the question isn't just why employees are protesting today, the bigger question is why has this become a recurring problem? If funding public universities is the provincial government's responsibility, then why are institutions repeatedly struggling to pay salaries and pension? Is higher education receiving the resources it actually needs? And more importantly, what is the government's long-term plan to ensure that universities like the University of Peshawar don't return to the same crisis every year? Because salaries can eventually be paid, but if the financial problems remain unresolved, the next protest may simply be a matter of time. Should children under the age of 16 be allowed to use social media in Pakistan? It's a question that may soon move beyond parenting discussions and into public policy. And around the world, governments are introducing stricter rules on children's access to social media. The argument is simple that children are spending more time online than even before, but are countries doing enough to protect them? They believe that unrestricted access to social media is affecting children's mental health, reducing attention spans, and exposing them to content they may not be emotionally mature enough to understand. Pakistan wouldn't be the first country to consider such restriction. Australia has already approved a law to restrict social media for children under 16, but bringing a similar policy to Pakistan would be far more complicated than simply passing a law. Age verification remains a challenge almost everywhere in the world, and children can often create accounts simply by entering a different date of birth. Even if restrictions are introduced, enforcing them would require cooperation from technology companies and internet service providers and regulators. The bigger question is whether the country has a clear strategy to protect children online, because banning an app is one thing and creating a safer digital environment for millions of Pakistani children is something else entirely.